The weather has strengthened overnight, everybody. Now it turns serious, especially with our severe weather, chances for strong tornadoes, damaging winds, and very large hail. Not only for tomorrow, also for the next day, more chances for severe weather. And then as we go into Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, the severe weather is going to pick up again. But the weather pattern coming right behind that is going to be the strongest that we had all season yet. Even chances for 100 to 105 degree heat indices are potentially coming all the way north into Canada. This is going to be a very extreme weather pattern, everybody. So in this video, I'm going to show you the latest information on what the weather is about to do right around the corner. In fact, National Weather Service has put out this outlook now for this extreme heat hitting. And you can see right here for the heat risk as we go all the way from Sunday into Monday, we have major impacts in all of this red with extreme in all of this purple. This is going to get very hot. And now we have 3 areas of moderate risk for extreme heat, with a higher risk still over here across the mid-Atlantic. Still showing this is going to bring the 90s and the 100s temperatures, not just the heat indices. Temperatures are going to be very hot, and the heat indices is still going to be as high as 110 in some places, maybe a little bit higher. Now, when you take a look at the latest data, it's very concerning, showing we're going to an even higher pitch of a ridge all the way into Canada. So watch this. This is our PNA, our Pacific North American pattern. Been updating this every single day. And you can see where it's at just a couple of days ago, showing it going down towards a -3. Well, the very next day, yesterday, it went down even further. And for today, it updated, went down even further, all the way down potentially towards a -5. This is going to put such a high ridge of heat and heat indices all through the central and the eastern U.S., all the way up towards the Midwest and the Great Lakes, all the way into Canada, everybody. This is crazy. And still showing right afterwards, we're not going to stay in this weather pattern. We're going to go to another extreme weather pattern. So make sure you subscribe so you get accurate and honest weather information, everybody. You can see here with your winds aloft that you got this big high pressure of heat that's sitting right around the southern U.S. But look how we get that trough as we go Friday into the weekend, and that ridge builds. Now, this isn't the end of it. This is only by Saturday and Sunday. As we go further, you can see that ridge builds further and further to the north, all the way into Canada because of what this storm system is doing. This storm system is bringing hot temperatures all the way up. This is going to be very hot. And you can see this best with your tropopause. So you have the cooler temperatures in the blue, but you have this heat that's expanding, and this is coming in with that system as we go through from Friday into Saturday. And look how it expands all the way from Saturday into Sunday, all the way through next week, all the way into Canada. And this is deep into Canada. And right now, this is going right past 6 days. We have a strong low pressure building in Canada. It's going to bring some very strong severe weather as well. Cooler temperatures coming through with that trough. But look at that high ridge of heat. This is going way higher than before. Then afterwards, you can see after we go by the 5th and 6th of July, this is going to transition all that heat towards the western U.S. So remember the weather pattern change that I showed you. The latest outlook from Climate Prediction Center, you can see the same thing, this big above average anomaly kicking in from the center to the eastern U.S. and this big below average on the western U.S. This is going to transition right after Independence Day. All right, here we go, everybody. Here's your temperatures starting on Sunday, bringing the 80s and the 90s all the way towards the north and the southeast. So not just the 80s, now it's the 90s. Also over 100 to 105 degrees kicking in for the south central. Now, as you go through for your heat indices, remember the heat indices is going to be very strong on this weather pattern. So for this Sunday, here's your heat indices. Feels like temperatures. Now you're going to feel like 100 to 105 degrees pulling way further towards the north all the way into South Dakota, all the way across the southeast. You can see this with the Euro. You can also see this with GFS. It is trending. This is pulling way further towards the north. Monday, those 90s are going even higher into Minnesota now with the 100-degree temperatures. But once again, the heat index value is off the charts, everybody. Going all the way towards Minnesota, feeling like 105 towards 110-degree heat indices, plus what's all below it as well. This is a Euro, this is a GFS, showing 105-degree heat indices plus could transition all the way into Canada, everybody. This is going to be extreme. Tuesday, Bringing those 90s on up towards Minnesota, Wisconsin now, into Michigan. Now your actual temperatures are just exceeding 90 degrees, and your heat index value is extreme still. All the way towards the Great Lakes, all the way towards northern Wisconsin, feeling like 102, 104 degree heat indices. And you can see this with GFS as well, agreeing on that weather pattern. And you see how it takes 100 to 105 degree heat indices all the way into Canada multiple days, not just for the US, everybody. Wednesday, again with the 90s. Also the heat indices for Wednesday. This is the Euro. This is the GFS. Now, this is where it's starting to get a little bit tricky already. We're going about 8 days, and GFS is showing those heat indices could build even stronger towards the northeast, where you could feel anywhere from 105 to 110, maybe towards 115 degree heat indices for this transition. So it's not just for a few states. This is covering the whole central to the eastern U.S. And it keeps going, everybody. Thursday, those 90s coming up. Heat indices for Thursday. Once again, this is the Euro. This is the GFS. And the GFS really sees this sitting all the way from the mid-Atlantic towards the northeast, also for the Tennessee, Kentucky Valley, going all the way towards the Midwest, all the way into Canada. This is just ridiculous heat right here. Friday, here it comes again, and there's not going to be no relief at night. Your nighttime temperatures are going to be in the 70s and 80s. And the heat indices for Friday. Once again, this is the Euro. This is the GFS. You see how the GFS takes it higher towards the north, but also sits right along the mid-Atlantic towards the northeast. And that's been trending with the GFS, so we really need to watch out for that. And Saturday, here's July 4th. Here's your temperatures you can expect for Independence Day and the heat indices. This is where it really sits across the Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri Valley, all the way towards the lower Mississippi Valley, bringing feels like temperatures from 105 degrees plus. You can see this with the Euro, also with the GFS. And look how it takes that extreme all the way into Canada, feeling like 100 to 102, 103 degree heat indices. This is going all the way into Canada. This is going to be an extreme weather pattern, everybody. And the last one I have for you is a Sunday. Still bringing the 90s to the north. Your temperatures are right along the 100 or 105 degrees all along the southwest, all the way towards the southeast with very strong heat indices. Look at this. So make sure you hydrate. That's going to be a very dangerous heat wave that is coming through, everybody. Now, real quick on our severe weather, because this has upgraded and more upgrades is coming with this extreme weather pattern. I'm going to show you this here. Now, yesterday we didn't get any tornado reports. It was wind, rain, and wind gusts reports. Now, you can see for today it has grown a little bit more, and our chances for tornadoes. We have the 2% going across Wisconsin, Illinois, also over here for the central U.S. with a 5% more confidence. So here's your cities and states at risk for the tornado threat for today. Also, your wind threat still showing significant severe chances for 75 miles per hour wind gusts or greater. So here's your cities and states at risk for the wind threat for today. Also, the hail threat. Not only 2 inches in diameter is Black Hatch area, chances for 3 inches plus in this other second level of hail, everybody. So please be aware of this. So here's your cities and states at risk for the hail threat for today. Now you see, as we go through the evening, once we get around 2 and 3 p.m., we get some storms coming through for Wisconsin, northern and southern, and some loose cells that passes by right afterwards. Now, when you look at your significant tornado perimeters, you see it don't have a lot of high values where that could actually form up the chances for a tornado, but it does strengthen as it goes through the evening for northern Illinois. So be aware if you're in northern Illinois, you could get a quick spin up sometime around 7 or 8 p.m. Then you see it strengthens as this goes around at high pressure still across the 4 corners towards the south central. So we get some storms coming by from 7 to 8 p.m. from eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas. But it really intensifies on your chances for a tornado as you go through the evening for eastern Colorado, coming from Nebraska, going through Kansas as well. So you need to be aware of that as we go through the evening, posing a threat with these cells. Showing it does turn into a cluster of storms right afterwards, which will bring more of a wind threat right afterwards, then a chance for a tornado threat to form up again by eastern Colorado going through western Kansas. But then you can see it turns quickly into a cluster of thunderstorms. Now look for tomorrow. This is going to swing right across for Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. This isn't bringing a chance for a tornado. This is going to bring regular thunderstorms across, maybe a little gust of winds with that. But as this picks up for tomorrow evening, you can see a whole line of storms congealing all the way from the central U.S., Tennessee, Kentucky Valley, towards the interior northeast. Also over here, what's building from the 4 corners and northward on a lot of thunderstorms. Now, when you check for your chances for a tornado for tomorrow, you see it all stays southern for tomorrow on those storms that comes through. So showing mostly around tomorrow evening once this picks up for northern Texas, going through Oklahoma. You also get some strong storms over here for eastern Wyoming. It goes into western Nebraska as well, bringing some winds with that, so be aware of this. Also with these storms going through for Kansas, Missouri, southern Illinois, as we go through for tomorrow evening. Could bring some winds with that as well, but it really builds up over here for northern Texas into Oklahoma, into Kansas, where you could get a quick spin up for a tornado for tomorrow. So for tomorrow, for Thursday, your chances for tornadoes right along those storms I showed you in the south. This is a chance for strong tornadoes as well, with a significant severe, the Black Hatch area. So here's your cities and states at risk for the tornado threat for tomorrow. Also, the wind threat that's coming with those storms. This could shift a little bit further towards the west from what I can see. So far, here's your cities and states at risk for the high winds for tomorrow and the hail threat as well. A little bit on the lower end is going to be for those storms that come through later in the evening across the south central. So please be aware of this. So here's your cities and states at risk for the hail threat for tomorrow. Now this is going to transition into Friday as well, pretty much in the same areas, a little bit lower of a threat. But as that system strengthens across northwest going into Canada, it's going to bring a lot stronger storms over here for the north central going across the Midwest as we go into next week. And you can see this from the latest update, everybody. So with National Weather Service, as we go through for Saturday, for the north central, you have a 15% risk. Look at Colorado State University, showing not only over there, also across the southeast going towards the mid-Atlantic. As you go through for Sunday, is going to be there as well. As you go through for Monday, look how this builds, everybody. And Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday. There's going to be a lot of severe weather that's coming with this next weather pattern change. And still showing no threats in the tropics, even over here into the Caribbean, going to the Gulf. I've seen a lot of reports of these tropical waves coming. That's going to be very strong. These waves aren't doing anything. There's too much dust. The high pressure is just dominating over there, squeezing everything into the eastern Pacific. And these still aren't doing anything. They're going to go towards cooler waters and unfavorable environment as it gets a little bit closer towards Hawaii. Still no threat, everybody. The threat is going to be this extreme weather pattern change we're getting, where severe weather is going to move, and this heat is getting crazy all the way into northern Canada, potentially with 100+ heat indices. That is wild. So make sure you prepare for this heat, everybody. Make sure you share this information. Let other people see it as well. Check on the elderly, check on the pets, and check on your neighbors. And that is your latest update, everybody. Thank you again for your time. And no matter what, remember, always hold strong. Endure through whatever you're going through, because whatever you're going through don't even compare to what's coming around the corner, everybody. Romans 8:18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Amen. Remember, above all things, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope He keeps you safe every single day of your life and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great day, everybody.